Oh, hey, hello, welcome back to our YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Robin. I am the singer in this band, Big Fat Big. We're a band from the northeast of England. We usually make music, but now we make YouTube videos. First of all, I will apologise for this lighting setup. It doesn't look great, I know. It's a bit of a last minute video. I just wanted to jump on this quickly while people still care. It's 6:30, so I am using all artificial lighting, so if it looks a bit shit, that's why. I have gathered you all here today to talk about pay to play, just in general, really. The reason that I'm speaking about it now, today, on this lovely, what day is it? Wednesday, is because the past few days there's been a few news stories floating around, rightly so, about DJ Tiny, who was a DJ for Capital Extra. He has been sacked, which is not great for anyone, but he was sacked for the following reasons. There was an artist called Beets who approached DJ Tiny, who wanted his music to be played on his Capital Extra show, which was on a Friday night, and essentially he was told, yes, I will play your music for the small fee of £200. But like, that's your job. You're being paid already to do that, to play artists. Why are you charging? Why are you doing that? Unfortunately, it is something that as like up and coming artists who don't have huge connections and things like that, and you're doing all of the PR stuff yourself, it's something that you run into time and time and time again, where you will approach a blog or a Spotify curator or radio. I mean, I've never experienced it personally with radio, but in this instance, radio. You want them to feature your music, to listen to your music, to consider it for play. A lot of the time it's not even for guaranteed play, and they will come back and say, yes, we will listen to your song for the fee of blah blah blah. And it's just not on. Not so fucking on! It's really not cool. We work hard enough and it's already expensive enough as it is to be a musician or to be in a band. What he was offering for the price of £200 was to listen to the song, to play it on Capital Extra, which is obviously quite a big radio station, so it's naturally quite hard to get on, especially playlists and stuff on there, which is why I think a lot of artists will fall into that trap and think, oh, it's only £200 and then that's it, I've done it, I'm on Capital Extra. So he was offering 2 weeks worth of playlist play, which is obviously quite a good thing to get, but not when you're paying for it. It's just shit. So I want to speak about all pay-to-play services and why, as a musician, you should not fall into the trap of paying for it. I have a lot to say. I have notes. If I keep looking over here, that's why I have notes, so that I don't get too angry that I forget to to say anything. The first reason that you should not be falling into this bloody shitty trap of pay-to-play is you should believe in yourself more than that. You need to believe that you are worth being played without paying for it, because like you are like you are spending time writing it, you are spending money recording it, you are doing all of these things, promoting it, and it takes over your life. Like, it's such a huge amount of time to spend on something, and then for someone to kind of belittle that and be like, yeah, I'll play it, but not for free. Like, it's not good enough to be played for free. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, I'm not having that. I'm just not having it. I would honestly rather not be played at all. It might be the wrong attitude to have, but I've kind of been like, I've had that situation so many times where at this point I'm just like, oh, again? Really? Like, no, man. Don't underestimate yourself. Like, wait for your time, because it's coming. Like, your time is coming, and it'll come, and then you have got there without all of the shitty pay for play. Nah. The second reason that you should not pay these people and these organisations that are charging money for like one-off plays or one-off favours is because there are so many reputable, really hard-working, decent services that offer promotional services, and that is so different to a pay-for-play. Use your money wisely. Spending all of this money, it adds up, you know. If you're paying for reviews, if you're paying for Spotify playlists, if you're paying for radio play, that's all going to add up. You might as well save all of that money and put it into a promotional campaign. No? Save all of that money that you would have otherwise wasted, which is what it is, essentially. You're wasting your money on one-off favours. I don't like calling it a favour because it's not a favour, but these one-off times of paying someone like little bits here and there, save that up and run a whole promotional campaign. We know plenty of them. We have no money, so we can't afford to actually use them, but they're really good at their jobs. And if anyone needs suggesting promotional companies that run these campaigns and help up and coming artists, we'll leave some below. Like, we've got friends that do it and do a much better job, and will do a much more effective job long term of getting you one step further in your career. Spend your money wisely. It is a waste of money. It's not worth it, and you might have to do it to like find out that it's a waste, but it's a waste. My third reason that you shouldn't pay for play is, say you do that, and if you feel like you need to do that or you've done it already and it's too late, like shit happens, you know, like whatever, so you pay for it. Then what? What's going to come from that? What is going to happen after that? Say Beets took up DJ Tiny on that offer and he paid for 2 weeks worth of radio play on Capital Extra. Obviously that's quite a big platform, so it's not a great example of it, but what are the chances of something happening off the back of that? Like, it's such a fickle industry, and if people don't actually care, which by the sounds of it they don't, otherwise they would have done it for free, then what's gonna come of that? Like, you need people to actually care, otherwise it's just so vapid and it's so pointless that like you might as well have just kept your money. Because are you gonna increase your fan base? You might find a few new fans if you're being played on a big radio station like that. In the long term, is it really worth it? Is it really worth like selling yourself like that and your art like that? A better example for that is probably like a Spotify playlist. You spend so much time chasing these playlists, and then once you're in them, what are you expecting? So what are we expecting to come from that? Like, are we expecting someone's gonna see us on that playlist and think, I need to sign these immediately to Sony? Which, like, it might happen, but then like I might win the lottery. The chances of it happening are not worth the risk of like losing your money, and also like people finding out that you paid for it. Like, it's like paying for listeners, paying for bots to listen to your music. Like, someone finds that out, are you not embarrassed? Are you not ashamed of yourself?
Are you not ashamed of yourself? Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
It's a bit embarrassing to be paying for listeners and paying for stuff that other people work so hard to get. So like, what are you expecting to come off the back of it? Because the likelihood is not very much is actually going to happen. I'm only saying this as well because I kind of wish that someone had had this conversation with me. Not for like any particular reasons, just to kind of set your expectations. It's so disheartening when you send an email and send a song of something you're really proud of, and then they come back and be like, yeah, we'll feature it for a cost. Like, so it will happen. It happens to everyone. It doesn't mean anything. It is definitely more of a reflection on them than anything else. However, I just kind of wish that someone had told that to me, because the first time I got an email back like that, I was so confused. So confused. Because the bitch knows her worth. Or does now, at least. So the fourth reason, and this is the one that I feel most passionately about, It's like these people are paid to do a job and they should be doing it properly. Why am I giving you money to do a job that you already are paid to do? Make it make sense. Like DJ Tiny, I'm sorry hun, if you're watching, you're definitely not, but like you are being paid a salary, and like to be in a position of power like that, and that's what I would call it, a position of authority and power. And so many people look up to him and respect him, and it's a goal of theirs to end up on that show. To belittle that so much to the point where it's just money. Like that's all you're interested in. You're not interested in nurturing the talent that you claim you are. You're not interested in any of that. It's just really disappointing. And I just think, do your job. You know what I mean? Do your job properly. I mean, it might be hard, it might be a hard job, but then like you're paid to do it. Like that's what you're supposed to do. Find these artists and put them on the radio. Why are you charging them? The last reason, and it's kind of similar to the first reason, but also not, is if you prepare enough in advance. This goes for any release, any genre, anything. There's a market for everything. Everything. If you prepare far enough in advance, people will cover it. If you and by that I mean don't email someone a week before your song comes out. I mean like do it a few weeks, preferably like a month or two in advance. Be prepared, do your research. Don't email publications that don't cover your music. There's no point in us emailing like a folk publication, because we're not a folk band, you know. Like do your research, put the work in, put the preparation in. What's that saying? Fail to prepare, prepare to fail. That. Like you can do it. Can people stop being so fucking loud? Do they not know that I'm filming for our 70 subscribers? But yeah, what I was saying was it might not be the big dogs, probably not going to be the big dogs at first, but regardless you will get coverage, and I think that is something that people fall into quite a lot. It's like a scared thing, no one's going to cover it, so I'm going to have to pay for it, which is understandable completely, but people will cover it. They will. Just work hard, don't take the easy way out. And I think it's really worth drawing attention to the fact that the reviews that people get when they've paid for them are copies of press releases. People who write reviews and who do these kinds of jobs do them because they're passionate about them. And like when you're reading a review that someone's paid for, you can just really tell, because they're just not passionate about it at all. They're just kind of doing it because they're being paid to do it, which it's not a good read. How do I know this? Because I've fucking done it in the past. I've done that before. I've paid for a review, a single review, and it was like a tenner. It was a tenner. It was £10, and it was so nondescript. I mean, it was a fine review, but it wasn't anything that I would be proud to show someone. And I think that's when the penny dropped for me. I was kind of just like, what have I paid for here? And I mean, it was split 3 ways, like £3.33 each. But then you do that, if you do that time and time again, that's going to add up. I do just want to add that the only reason that we did it was because it was our very first single. Like no one had ever heard anything that we'd ever put out before, and like I was saying before, like we were just so nervous that like it wasn't going to get picked up by anything. But if I could go back, I would just say like, listen to the song. It's a good song. Like why wouldn't anyone pick it up? Believe in yourself more. And I know it's obviously all well and good me saying this and then saying, well, I've actually done it in the past. I know. But that's like, I've made this mistake so that you don't have to. And I just think it's a really good time to kind of bring it back up while people actually care about it, because these people do need to be held accountable for their actions, because it's not okay. Especially when you're being paid a salary, it's definitely not okay. So we didn't even post that review anywhere. I don't even know what the site was called. If I can remember, I'll post it so that people don't fall into the same trap. Would never ever be making that mistake again. And I just wanted to talk about it straight while the iron's hot, because it doesn't get talked about enough. People taking advantage of artists is not spoken about enough, and it happens so often. I mean like all the time, right under our noses. Don't do it. Don't fall into their trap. You deserve more. You work too hard on your art to sell it at such a low price. If any kind of creators in DJs or reviewers or curators or anything like that do happen to be watching this video, just don't do it. Just don't charge for it. Unless you're charging for a service, don't do it. It's not worth it, and it makes people feel pretty shit. Look after yourself. Please subscribe if you haven't already. We have so much YouTube content like planned and scheduled, ready to go up, which is really exciting. So it's a really good time to jump on board if you haven't. Our socials are all linked down below. Our music is down below, more importantly. We have new music coming out soon, so follow us on Spotify to be the first to hear it. Do I have anything else to say before I stop filming?